Well, we had a eventful week, man. What's going on, Mr. David?
Running around. What's up? How you?
Hey, you went to the party.
Oh my God.
I did.
You went to the party.
I definitely did.
Threw a party, yeah. Threw a
I
party.
definitely did.
Yeah.
David came over.
I definitely did. Crazy.
No, listen.
Nah, I ain't gonna front, real man. I'm glad the brother got his freedom.
Right.
Shouts to
100%.
Max.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Fan of his music. He on Survival. He actually on my first album.
The moment this new episode was released, everything took a drastic turn, and everyone in the city immediately became aware that something significant was going to happen. It felt more like a behind-the-scenes moment that wasn't meant to be recorded on camera than a podcast, particularly with the names of Dave East, Max B, and Jim Jones appearing in the same conversation once more. People have been anticipating the outcome of this conflict for years. The energy is now more audible than before. In actuality, many rap relationships have been looking unstable for a while, and incidents like this show how flimsy those ties actually are. Some of these performers only collaborate when a check is on the table where the cameras are rolling. However, when it comes to genuine brotherhood or standing firmly behind someone, the throng abruptly shrinks, as this instance is demonstrating once more. Jim Jones entered the spotlight at the ideal time by starting a new podcast at the height of the Max B controversy. It wasn't a coincidence. That involved timing, strategy, and being aware of the precise moment to arrive. Without exerting any effort, he entered the spotlight with ease. Even more bizarre is the fact that Jim hasn't mentioned Max B directly since Max returned home. Not a single remark, not a single sentence, nothing at all. This is the twist, though. Mayo, his co-host, and Dave East, who's been close to Max, know how to turn that past into must-see stuff without even labeling it messy. The majority of podcasters steer clear of this subject entirely, but this gang doesn't avoid anything. You already know that nothing is secure on the table when Milo is seated next to it.
But yeah, I'm glad I got to go, poly with him.
So it was a lot of talk on the internet about.
They told me I was kicked off of this.
Yeah, they did. He said you was there. He said you was. I didn't mean. I
For
didn't
doing that.
Oh, this was crazy.
That's what they told
Yeah,
you?
they kicked you off the show.
The internet
They said I
kicked
got
you
kicked off this joint. I can't rap about it no more.
It's
people
crazy.
People don't know. You see, both of us had different opinions, and I think it's dope that because I always feel like two things can be true at the same time.
Right.
Right. You felt one way, I felt another way.
Right.
You went to the party, but you had already had a conversation with Capital. Talk about that.
As soon as the cameras began to roll, Milo tackled Dave East with the question that everyone on the internet had been waiting for a response to. He brought up the incident that rocked the internet while staring directly at Dave. Dave attended Max B's supper party as soon as Max returned home. He asked Dave why he pulled up and what he thought the moment truly signified without any warm-up or gentle landing. Everyone in the room seemed to feel the weight of that question at once as soon as he voiced it. After that, the chat became more in-depth and ceased to feel like casual conversation, laying the groundwork for everything that came after. Everyone could sense the tension in that room as soon as the discussion changed, man. It was thick enough to cut through. And just when everyone was starting to lose interest, we finally heard Fab's perspective on the lengthy and turbulent relationship between Max B and Jim Jones. Fans have been waiting for this information for years, and people have been debating who felt what online for ages. And everything took a whole different turn when Fab stepped in. This is one issue that needs to be made very clear. Now that Max B has returned home, Jim Jones is managing this situation with true discipline. He isn't going down him, posting dubious captions on the internet or making small barbs on his podcast. None of that. In contrast to how things used to be, Jim isn't preventing his people from expressing love for Max, as they said on the show. The atmosphere would have been entirely different if this identical scenario had occurred 10 or 15 years earlier.
I feel like I never was around him, Max.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but we had our own relationship through who we know or whatever. And me being around Jim as long as I've been around Jim, and Jim being around my moms and my kids, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta holler at Capo, like, yo, bro, how you feel about that? Because I got invited directly, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm a definitely have that convo with bro before I just pop up and he got to hear about it. Like, that's just me.
No, it's definitely no disrespect to Max or anybody, because me and him got a relationship too. But I just wanted to make it clear where I stood as a man. Those are my principles, not nobody else.
Jim is currently maintaining his composure, controlling his emotions, and acting as though he's learned from the past, and that energy is truly grown. For this reason, I genuinely believe that in a year or two, Jim Jones and Max B may be sitting across from one another on a podcast and discussing everything like grown-ups. At that point, the streets would come to a halt. You already notice, if you pay close attention to what Mayo was saying during the conversation, it's obvious what he was trying to say. He wants New York to function as a cohesive whole once more. Instead of dividing the city into smaller groups, he wants it to remain united. And he didn't hesitate to express it. And the debate took a drastic turn just when everyone believed it couldn't get much more bizarre. The atmosphere immediately changed once Mayo asked Dave East to come to Max B's dinner party. Even through the TV, you could sense it. Dave, however, refused to back down or become defensive. He maintained his composure and gave a clear explanation of his motivation. You could see that his choice was not motivated by anything nefarious. All he wanted was to maintain harmony in the city and treat people with respect when they deserved it. Then, Fab intervened, sharing his thoughts on the ongoing conflict between Max and Jim in the cool, collected tone he always has. He wasn't taking sides, but it was obvious that he was advocating for mature men to have a conversation rather than allowing long-standing issues to continue for 10 more years. And additionally, hearing him dissected gave the entire space more weight, as if everyone had to pause and consider what he had said. The panel kept returning to the same message, which heightened the intensity. When everyone is united rather than divided, New York moves more forcefully. Everyone has been talking about this episode endlessly because it struck with a completely new type of weight. It wasn't just some haphazard gossip or untidy conversation. It seemed like the city finally got a true glimpse of how far these legends have come and how near we might be to witnessing a reunion that no one had anticipated.
It's dope that we could be able to have that conversation right here, because I felt like niggas was thinking it was something else.
Nah, I feel like with me it's like, and I agree with you 1,010%. I love this nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I'm not into trying to figure out what niggas is going through.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, Capo know how I feel about him. He knew me since I was 18, 19 years old. You get what I'm saying? Like, this ain't nothing brand new. This ain't let me go over there for the cloud or for the cameras. Nah. I've been in contact with Max.
Right.
From jail. You get what I'm saying? He's on the album, Yo East. You get what I'm saying? So
everyone was aware of how plausible that idea seemed. Even the manner Fab talked made it obvious that he already knows that whatever private conversations he may have had with Jim over Max are no longer antagonistic. The icy energy from years ago simply doesn't exist in the same manner. The hardest portion seems to have already been passed by both sides. The only thing left to do is for them to eventually have a face-to-face conversation like mature men who experienced it and emerged wiser. You could sense that the city's energy was no longer trapped in the past. These days, people are older. The game changed, and the need for unity now outweighs the desire to preserve traditional tales. The door may not be completely closed as perceived by the entire panel, and that's why the discussion was so heated. For the first time in a long time, it seems as though the city may be approaching something significant, something that people never imagined they would see again. The fact that the entire discussion continued, revealing details that individuals often avoid on camera, added to the intensity of the whole event. As the panel grew more at ease, they started discussing aspects of the Max B and Jim Jones case that are rarely discussed by the general public. Everyone in the room was clearly aware that this was not a lighthearted subject. This was a single narrative that connected history, suffering, business, pride, and actual street heritage. Milo maintained the momentum by dissecting the New York culture's recurring tendency for the most powerful voices to clash rather than come together. He emphasized how absurd it is that a city home to some of the greatest rappers of all time can nonetheless become mired in long-standing personal problems that impede advancement. He didn't bring it up in an untidy manner either. He seemed to be pushing the group to consider more deeply why things remained broken for such a long time. When Dave mentioned how much pressure comes from those outside the situation, the vibe changed once more. He claimed that people on the internet enjoy promoting narratives that don't align with reality by pretending to know the whole picture. He clarified that it becomes more difficult for those who are truly interested to move forward when fans, blogs, and odd pages continue to stir things up. And that struck a deep chord, because everyone is aware of how quickly the internet can transform an incident into a whole plot that never actually took place. Dave's candor about how difficult it is to maintain friendships in the field was particularly noteworthy. Being cool with two people who had a long, painful past puts you in a position where every move gets picked apart. But he was adamant about remaining impartial and courteous rather than taking sides. In a society where most people choose the loudest team in order to remain relevant, this is uncommon. Fab added another perspective by discussing how New York wasted numerous opportunities as a result of people clinging to circumstances they had outgrown. He said, "When legends stay divided, the whole city feels it, especially when younger artists look up to them." He has always been someone the city trusts to be honest without creating issues, so hearing that from someone with Fab status adds a whole new level to the discussion. Something more profound was also revealed by the conversation. There are no haters in that room. There isn't any new drama, current smoke, or issues. It's all history, which is why the tone was so potent. Everyone in the room seemed sincerely hoping that something good would emerge from the situation. By the time they got to that point in the conversation, it was evident that the city was changing, even if they were unable to express it directly. The atmosphere around this circumstance is different from what it was previously. Nowadays, there is a greater level of awareness, maturity, and support for unity rather than divisiveness. The more the panel discussed, the more obvious it became that the situation is much closer to peace than anyone outside ever anticipated. It was evident in the body language, tone, and lack of disparaging remarks. For the first time in a long time, the city didn't seem to be split along historical lines. The moment felt unique just because of that. It seemed as though everyone seeing was aware that a significant change was taking place in front of them. The fact that they all agreed that the energy in New York has changed is what really jumped out. Conflict is no longer something that people support. They support dialogue, solidarity, and the kinds of events that positively impact society. And truly healing really begins to occur when adult men speak with integrity and decency rather than hostility. Dave East, Milo, and Fab all kept coming back to the same spot. And it also revealed something. No one wants this plot to stretch on for 10 more years. No one is attempting to again relive the past. These men have experienced real life, lost loved ones, matured, developed careers, made mistakes, and gained knowledge. And when folks get to that point, years of smoking can sometimes be cleared with just one genuine sit-down. To be honest, the entire city would tremble at the prospect of Jim Jones and Max B in the same room once again. That would surpass a viral phenomenon. It would be a fragment of the New York history. Watching it would make every rapper, fan, and media page go insane. The crazy thing is that it no longer seems unachievable. The maturity of the conversation, the respect in their voices, and the manner in which they spoke all pointed in the same direction. They seemed to be subtly conveying a message without using words. The moment may finally be right for something significant to happen. The door is not locked, and the tension is different. I want to hear from you now. Please share your opinions in the comments section and let me know how you think they handled the entire conversation. Do you believe that the city is at last ready to witness Jim Jones and Max B together once again? And how long do you think it will actually take for that moment to occur? This might turn out to be one of the biggest reunions in hip-hop history, so I'm interested to see what everyone thinks. To ensure you don't miss any of the drama we break down here, make sure to hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe before you jump out. Remember that there will be even more outrageous celebrity drama in the next video that appears on your screen. Next, tap into that one. I'll see you at the next one.